I'd like to call the Tuesday, March 7th, 2023 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Ms. Brown, would you please take the roll?
Sunday, Mumgard, Gaines, Glover, Fanslaw, Klug, Stubbe, Engberg.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
We do.
A current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. Ms. Powers, Administrator's report, please.
Thank you. I have just a couple quick things tonight. The Papillion Police Department recently held their annual awards, and congratulations to Road Patrol Officer Joe Summers. He was awarded the Officer of the Year. Shauna Biodorowski was awarded the Civilian Employee of the Year, and CNA Jenny Altman was awarded the Citizen of the Year. And then dozens of other officers were also awarded various other distinguished honors, including life-saving awards. So congratulations to all. We're fortunate to have dedicated professionals in our police department. So thank you to everyone. And then, as you guys know, interviews for the fire chief position are wrapping up this Friday. And so thank you to everyone that has helped participate in that long process between civil service and then now with Mayor Black's final round of interviews. We are hoping that we should have an announcement on who Mayor Black intends to appoint pending your approval for the March 21st agenda. So we're I think, heading towards that path. So again, thank you to everyone, especially all the people all the citizens as part of the civil service. Again, a long process, a lot of work. Big fire boots to fill with Chief Bose, so it warrants the process. And then finally, just a reminder that you've all received an email from Core Excel for my Everything Disc 363 evaluation. It was sent on February 24th. So if you didn't receive that, please let me know. They won't give me the results till you guys take it. So if you have questions or need to be resent the link, just reach out to me. So thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Ingberg, second by Councilman Gaines. Mr. Sunday, you'd mentioned you want to poll C4 and C6, is that right? Correct. Okay, those are polled. Do we have any proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote on everything except C4 and C6.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item C4, Resolution R230035. A resolution to extend the contract for ultra-thin bonded asphalt system, UBOS, to McGaney Construction of Shawnee, Kansas, in the amount of $1,172,000. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R230034? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Ingberg. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion, Mr. Sunday.
I would just like to give Mr. Kleffner an opportunity to give us his thoughts on how the ultra-thin bonded asphalt is holding up about, 3 to 3.5 years into it now?
Thank you.
Apologize. Mike Kleffner, Public Works. Yeah, we're about 3 to 3.5 years into it. So far, it's held up really well. There's been some minor issues, but we think it's been in the laydown process, and the contractors come back and fix those issues. We had one that came up over this winter that he'll come back and fix. Overall, it's been really good. We're at a point now where we're coming in a year ahead of the UBAS and doing the panel repair, and then in the following year we're doing the UBAS. We have some reflective cracking that showed up in the winter on some areas, even out front here, but during the summer it's reacted according to how the manufacturer said, where the heat is cause those reflective cracks to seal up. So it's just a matter of time to ensure that those that material keeps that property. We may go through a rejuvenation process, but we'll see how long that'll take. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Gaines.
I just had another question for Mr. Kleffner. Is the spot that I emailed you, that's on 72nd, is that on the schedule to get fixed? Does it have to wait till summer? Because I noticed it was still there yesterday or the day before. But
yeah, the only thing we would be able to do at this point is put down cold patch, and it would peel up right away. So we let the manufacturer know about it. What we're guessing happened is that typically in the application process, they can go straight through and the spray, the sealant goes down right in front of the asphalt. Whereas in that intersection where the turn lanes are and everything else, they backed up and came back multiple times to do it. We're guessing when they came back to go through on that, they didn't turn on the application before the asphalt went ahead with it. And we've had that situation in one other turn lane. So they're going to come back, and we've had no issues with them correcting those issues.
So just a question that's semi-related to that, where you have the thin and you have regular asphalt, does that normally hold up well in the freezing conditions with the snow plows and environment like here?
You're talking about the structural asphalt, like a 2-inch lift? Yeah, the thing is when you get a 2-inch lift, it's got a different binder and a different sealant to it. So the seal that goes on in front of the UBAS creates more of I don't want to say this, it's a little thicker than what tack would be is what they use, and it binds with the asphalt a little bit more because it actually goes down right in front of the UBAS. So it creates more of a seal, and that with the UBAS and with that seal, it creates that more elasticity, which is why with like 72nd Street, we're going to give that maybe a little bit longer than we would with the residentials before we do more arterial roads, just due to the truck traffic and things along those lines. The plowing shouldn't be a big deal, but it's the truck traffic I'm nervous about with the thin versus the thick. So we're going to get, before we do any more major roadways, we're going to give 72nd probably about 4 or 5 years before we do any more majors. But the residentials, I wouldn't have any issues with. Wouldn't think we'd have any issues with those.
Any other questions? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item C6, Resolution R230038, a resolution to approve the designation of depositories for municipal funds to American National Bank, Citizens State Bank, 5 Points Bank, and Pinnacle Bank. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R230038? Motion by Councilman Stubbe. Second by Councilman Fanslow. Any proponents or opponents? Mr. White, I see you here. Why don't you come on up? This item is specifically to add Citizens State Bank as one of the approved depositories, and it is a new action. And Jared is the president of Citizens, and so I thought it'd be good to give him a quick opportunity to visit with us.
Yep, the mayor promised I'd keep this right around a minute, so I'll keep it very brief, I promise. My name is Jared White. I'm the market president for Citizens Sarpy County. I'm just going to tell you a little brief history of our bank. Citizens was founded October 19th, 1888 under the Citizens National Bank Corporation in Wisner, Nebraska, and that actually remains our charter to this day. Citizens State Bank is a community-focused organization with a rich history and experience in agricultural, commercial, and personal banking solutions. We grew from just a few small hometown banks to now over 10 banks in Nebraska communities all over the state, predominantly towards Omaha, Wisner, West Point, those types of small communities. Citizens, I opened our Papillion location in late 2018 with one goal in mind: to be a great community partner with Papillion and Sarpy County. Holding true to our long-standing motto of investing in our community and our residents, Citizens has the pleasure of partnering over these last few years with numerous local organizations in Papillion and not-for-profits for the betterment of our city. So again, just wanted to give you a brief history on who we were. So thank you guys very much for your time, and I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Do we have any other proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thanks for all you do in the community. Item D1, Ordinance 1989, an ordinance to annex certain real estate to the city of Papillion, Nebraska, and to provide for an effective date. Is there a council member that will introduce? Introduced by Councilman Stubbe. Item D2, a related item, Ordinance 1990, an ordinance to change the official zoning map of the city of Papillion in accordance with Section 20532 of the Papillion Municipal Code, to adopt a zoning map and to apply existing or future zoning regulations, property use regulations, building ordinances, electrical ordinances, plumbing ordinances, and all other regulatory ordinances of the city of Papillion pursuant to Nebraska Revised Statute 16901, and to provide for an effective date. Is there a council member who will introduce? introduced by Councilman Glover. Item E1, Ordinance 1991, an ordinance to approve the sale of land to Tri-City Food Pantry and the publication of notice of intent to sell city property. It's a public hearing. I'll open it. Do we have any proponents or opponents? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. F1, Ordinance 1988, an ordinance to approve the vacation of alley right-of-way adjacent to 129 North Washington Street. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1988? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilman Fanslow. Any council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F2, Resolution R230030. A resolution to approve Tade Van Essen as the corporate manager for Walmart Inc., doing business as Walmart 1671, for the Class D liquor license. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R230030? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Gaines. Any proponents or opponents? Is the applicant here? Okay. Any council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F3, Resolution R230031. A resolution to approve a First Amendment and Second Amendment to the April 23rd, 2020 interlocal agreement between the city, Sarpy County, Papillion, Missouri River Natural Resource District regarding Portal and Big Lake recreation areas. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R230031? Motion by Councilman Stubbe. Second by Councilman Glover. Do we have any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next two are related items as well. F4, Resolution R230032. A resolution to approve the transfer of Portal and Big Elk recreation areas by the Papillion, Missouri River Natural Resource District to the city of Papillion. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R230032? Motion by Councilman Sunday. Second by Councilman Stubbe. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Mr. Mumgard.
I guess could we have just a moment to explain the impact of this?
I'll look to Mr. Kleffner.
What the agreement with the NRD does is we take over the recreational areas at the two lakes, and then they still maintain overall maintenance of the lake and the dams at the locations. The one thing that we would have to do for maintenance possibly in the future would be is if there's like sediment or things along those lines due to development or other impacts outside of the lake area.
And it's same as we started with the model with Walnut Creek, and then we took over to Prairie Queen.
So what's it mean on a day-to-day basis for us?
It's a public park. It's
Yeah.
Instead of being a regional dam site managed by the NRD, it's actually a city Papillion regional park.
Okay, they maintain it, but we run it.
Yeah, they maintain the lake and the dam. So the floodway structures, which is what NRD primary deals with, the floodway structures they deal with. They maintain those as part of their agreement with the Corps and everything. The recreation areas that surround the lake, any trails that go in, those things along those lines would be ours to maintain.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F5, Resolution R230033. A resolution to approve the dedication of right-of-way by the Papillion, Missouri River Natural Resource District of Cornhusker Road adjacent to Big Elk Recreation Area. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R230033? Motion by Councilman Gaines, second by Councilman, it was over here, Stubbe. Thank you. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. It's all the regular agenda items. Committee reports, I believe F&A met. I can't remember who the chair is. Mr. Ingberg.
Thank you, Mayor. The F&A committee met tonight with two items, one of which is a carryover from our meeting 2 weeks ago regarding pricing for sites, camping sites at Walnut Creek. At the end of the discussion, 3-to-1 recommendation to improve, increase the pricing to by $4 for the daily rate, and then to also now offer a special rate for week-long rental of a pad site to help encourage people to stay and use other facilities and participate in the city itself. I ask that we review that again a year from now to have a breakdown of where we're at as far as revenues versus expenditures, and also there's probably going to be some development of tent area removed from the actual pad sites that have electricity. The next item was we reviewed the pricing for use of AV equipment, audiovisual equipment at the landing, strictly in the area where we have the 3 chrysalis rooms. Presently, it's a $75 charge if you utilize projection and all of the sound equipment. We decided after some discussion on a trial basis anyway, we 3-to-1 recommend to the council that $75 remains the same, except for nonprofit organizations, and we'll reduce the cost there to $25. Additionally, we asked as a committee for the director, for Tracy to add some more information over the next year as far as rentals and nonprofit versus for-profit in those rooms, and also some maintenance costs for sound equipment, those kinds of things. She presently has it, but we felt comfortable making a recommendation to do this right now, and then we'll revisit that a year from now as well. That's it.
Thank you. Any comments from the floor? Anybody want to speak? See none. Any comments from council? Mr. Ingberg, did you have something else?
Oh, no.
Mr. Fanslow.
I do, yeah. So, thank you, Mayor. I continued my tour of departments since our last meeting, and this morning I met with Tracy Stratman from Rec, and met her at her office, toured the landing, heard all about her department. So I wanted to publicly thank her for that. And the biggest takeaway, the biggest thing I took away from that conversation, and kudos to everybody here and those who came before me, the 55 Plus Club, she told me all about that, is fantastic. What a great service that we provide to that group of citizens. So I just wanted to thank Tracy, and I wanted to talk about the 55 Plus Club. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other council comments? Just a couple things from the last couple of weeks. The League of Municipalities had its midwinter conference. Mr. Mumgard, myself, some of the staff went down there, so appreciate that. And Ms. Powers mentioned it. We've had 2 of the 3 of the chief interviews, the 3 that came out of civil service. We have the 3rd one this week, and then hopefully progress that to the point where on the next council agenda we'll have something go forward there. So appreciate all the council members that have been participating in that. I know it's taken a lot of time, so thank you very much. A couple of reminders on the calendar. Tuesday the 14th, so a week from now, Caniglia's has a ribbon cutting for their new location at 4 o'clock. Speaking of the senior center, Friday, then the following Friday on the 17th, they're having a joint luncheon with La Vistas for St. Patty's Day. And if council member hasn't participated in that, it's a lot of fun to serve and interact with the residents. And that's going to be at the La Vista Community Center. And then the following Sunday on the 21st is our half marathon 10K in the morning. So if you want to come out to that and see folks. I had a meeting with Sheltering Tree. If you remember, they had a groundbreaking. They're building a community over by Shadow Lake. That's the one where they're building 22 units for individuals with intellectual disabilities, so like Down syndrome. And they have their own independent apartments, living on their own, making their own life decisions. A great, great program. And their project's progressing well. They're hoping to hit their target, and they are fully occupied as long as they hit their target date. and a lot of their residents are low to moderate income, so they've got some housing assistance that's helping them there. So, and big indication that a large percentage of those actually are Papillion residents, and some of them have been outside the community and they're able to move back into the community because of that project. So that was encouraging. And then speaking of the 55 Plus Club, I wanted to point out, look at the administrator's report and look at this month's newsletter from the 55 Plus Club. 8 pages long of activities they're doing over there. So they are a busy, busy group, and it's meeting a big need. So appreciate that. Any other council comments? We have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Gaines. Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
We are adjourned.